Okay, so currently I am driving from my work to the bookstore. I know that they have the deluxe and the regular. I think I'll just get regular. It's what my other two like copies are, so I kind of want to stay the same. Also, by the way, like it's freaking freezing. Minus 15, I think feels like minus 20 something. So yeah, I'm just heading there now. I'll see what they have. Court was looking online at availability. Oh, person behind me is driving a bit weird. So I know they have plenty of copies. They have more copies of the deluxe version than the regular version. So we'll see. And if the deluxe version comes with like a special map, I'll be interested, to be honest. I love a good map. So we'll see. I got my copy. I got the regular one because there literally was no difference except for the sides. Oh shoot, it's kind of like busted at the bottom. Oh well. And like every single person in there was grabbing the book. They would just walk up, grab it, and go to the cash. And I was like, do you not? Okay, well, first of all, I did look to make sure the sleeve was good, but then I didn't look at the spine. But yeah, I was like, how do you not look? So yeah, we were just like chit-chatting in line. Everyone was excited to grab the book. I have to go back to work, and then tonight I get to read. I 100% forgot to film when I started my sprints because I was too excited. But I started sprints and I read tonight and I got to page 77 of the book. So I'm just at the end of, or just in the middle of chapter 9. And I have some thoughts and feelings. Sorry, Matt's right there and it's embarrassing. Yep. I find that she hasn't grounded us in, Court used a really good word. I think it was like anchored us in the world. So she's not kind of giving us little nuggets to spark our memories, to put ourselves back into the world, to get used to these characters again, and just like the politics and magic system. So I feel really lost. That's kind of like my whole feeling so far, is like really lost. I don't really know what's going on. And this is spoilers, by the way. I'm doing spoilers this whole time. So when Violet goes and is like committing treason to go to the ward stone to make it so that the Flyers can use their magic at Basgaeth, like that scene, like I understand she wanted us to kind of be in the dark about what was going on, and then it's a ground reveal and this is why it all worked out and she's so smart. But you weren't really explaining what was going on at the time, so like it just kind of made me feel dumb the whole time and just didn't really work out. Like I get what you were trying to do, it just didn't work well. So that's kind of how I feel like what a lot of stuff is going on. And then another gripe I have, but I've had this for a while, is if you're in such a big war, why are these kids in school? Like they've already fought in multiple battles, just send them to the battlefield. They've already proven themselves. They don't need to learn anymore. They'll learn on the go. So that's kind of my issue so far, but I'm still having fun. Xaden is like all wyvern. It is what it is at this point. But yeah, thoughts and feelings, night 1. Hello. I am sick. Full disclosure, it's Saturday. I'm not very far in the book. I'm only on chapter 19, 160 pages in. So I definitely experienced what I think a lot of people are experiencing, which was being like really confused by all of these names that are getting thrown around. And it's kind of like, who? What? Where? But I've passed that point and just kind of rode with it. I didn't try to I definitely referenced the glossary at the beginning of the book that she puts in, but I kind of stopped once I got the hang of who people were, or just literally I'll find out when I need to, I guess. So beyond that, I was having like a hard time getting excited. Like when I was reading it, it's fine, but like I really thought like I'd almost be done by this point, you know, like not able to put it down. And it's really action packed. So much is happening. Like I really can't say that it's a boring book or anything like that. I do kind of have one frustration, which is that like I just don't really think they should be in school, but that's like my own issue. Like whatever. But what I'm really liking is Violet and Xaden trusting each other and communicating. And I know that was like a big meme of people being like, oh my gosh, if there's like a miscommunication trope in this book, like I'm gonna yeet it across the room. But I haven't been annoyed by that. Like it's actually been great. They've been open and honest and talking. So I'm like, thank you. This is amazing. I don't know how I feel about Xaden being a teacher. I'm kind of like, you've been out of school for 1 year. Like, I get it. You're so strong. But like, kind of weird. Again, that I think comes full circle to me just being like, you guys shouldn't be in school. Like, go fight the war. You'll learn as you go. But I am about to start them going on a trip down south to try and figure out like these Feathertail things based on Violet's father's research. And Halden has just come into the picture. So that's interesting as well. I mean, he seems like a pompous asshole, as all princes are. Who knows? We'll see. I'm just here for the vibes. I'm here for the ride. I'm referencing the map a lot. Like, the only thing I care to, like, genuinely know about is where the heck they are in this world. And it's bothering me to no end that they're referencing places and it's not on the map. That's all, like, truly. That's my biggest gripe. If you're gonna say a town, put it on the map, please. I'd like to know where it is. I enjoy a good map. But basically, I've just been on my deathbed, as you can see. I've got Freya's toy. She's been a very good companion to me whilst I've been sick. I'm honestly not like a huge reader when I'm sick. I prefer to just watch TV and nap. But yeah, I'm continuing reading. I'll keep you updated on my thoughts. So far, I'm just having like a mid experience. Mid to above average. No respect for the book. I think she actually hates it because it means I spend less time with her. Hey, Frey. Okay, day 3 from my deathbed. Just kidding. I'm slowly improving, honestly. I'm just being dramatic. So I'm on chapter 22, still slow going, but I have recently been experiencing that feeling of being like, I just want to be in my book. Like, I just want to be reading. Although, like, I haven't read in like 24 hours, but I had like a strong urge where I was like, I just want to read. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take my Tylenol PM, cold and flu, and read for as long as I possibly can. Stuff's getting spicy. Well, not spicy, but like interesting. They're somewhere down south. They just got there, and Xaden and Violet are like sharing a room because the prince or whatever was like, you're not here as a teacher, like, you're barely a teacher. And he was like, okay, bet. Violet, come with me. I still don't know a ton about Holden. I'm just ready to jump back into it and see how much I can get done for the rest of the evening. I'll report back. Okay, so I'm on page, like, 200. And I'm finding, like, some of this dialogue so cheesy. So one is Xaden's like in a good mood because they're in whatever this little town is, the like warm place in chapter 23, and he's just like, you know, silly goofy mood, happy guy, and someone's like, is that the same guy? And they're like, so Drake asked Kat, is that the same guy? So I was already like, okay, that's cringe. And then whatever, so I was like, not that, whatever. I was like, okay, there could be like lame lines, right? Like, isn't that the same guy? Ooh. But then Dane like figures something out, so Xaden pays him a compliment. He's like, oh, good job, dude. And Dane goes, was that a compliment? What the fuck is going on? And then like looks to Violet and was like, did you give him something? I don't know. I just find it cheesy. I find the banter not, like, successful. Like, I'm cringing. Ugh. And I also have another, like, gripe that her, like, little gang, like, not gang, her group of like writers that she's like friends with, they're always like hanging around waiting for her. Like, they only exist around Violet, and it feels like Saved by the Bell, when like she's in her room and she was sleeping, like she slept in till 8 a.m. This was earlier in the book. And literally every single person is outside her door waiting for her. And it's like, could you, like, I know there's no cell phones. I know you can't text, but I don't know. I'm just like, it's just a little too after school special, like me and the gang. I'm just kind of frustrated, but I'm enjoying it. And I'm actually very much enjoying this place. Like, I'm kind of picturing where Daenerys was. So kind of like where it was sandy and all that, if you know what I mean. That's just kind of what I'm picturing. I'm just taking it from Game of Thrones. It's easier than having to like reimagine. And it seems beautiful, and I'm excited for them to be in the streets, but I'm just kind of like, okay, I get Zayden's being weird, but like, shut the hell up. Okay, sorry, I'm back. The old lady at the bookstore thinking that Dane or Zayden is Dane because her dad was like talking about Dane and Violet's love and being like, I know who you are. You're Dane Atos. Ah! It killed me. It was so secondhand embarrassment. And when she's like, oh, fucking kill me now. Yeah, that's awful. Hello.
I said, oh, jump scare.
Don't mind my hair. I'm just letting it kind of cool down. I have to do my makeup so I can go to do some stuff. But I wanted to get my thoughts and feelings out while I still have them fresh in my mind, because I did some reading today on sprints. Sorry if I go cross-eyed. I'm cross-eyed without glasses. But I have to do my makeup because I have to leave in about 20 minutes. I'm like way more into this book than I was at the beginning, like 1,000,000%. I'm in. Like, I just wish I could be reading all day today. I will be able to read when I go to my parents' house because we have about 3 hours to, I was for sure cross-eyed there. We have about 3 hours in between the cheerleading competition and the hockey game. I'm still like battling this sickness. I'm 100% like over the worst of it, like by far. Also, I've gotten to that age where I have to do my makeup in the like magnifying mirror because I literally can't see otherwise. So that's fun. I'm at the part where they've gone to the second island. They've gone on the mission, they've come back from the first island. Eric has replaced Halden, which is great because he's like such a liability and the worst. But I don't know, maybe he'll have a redemption arc, I don't know. And then they've had the challenge as well at the second island. And I'm like really intrigued by the fact that there's someone with like the same hair as Violet. But then also like tons of these people have silver hair fully. So maybe she's like a half and half of something like from this island. And then I wonder if we're going to get an answer to that in this book or if it's something that will be answered in the series. I hope so. Like, I'm very interested in that. I'm excited by that. I also found it interesting that she mentions like a golden twinkle around the statue of their like goddess that they have. And she blames it on Ardana not staying like where she is. But I think that's actually like more of like something to do with like why she's special in her magic and something to do with this land. That's just my guess. I have no idea. Cause like, I don't think Andarna moved. And then I really, really like that when people want to do something, like for example, when they do the fight, so like first Zayden's like, okay, I'm gonna go fight. And then she's like, okay, I don't like it, but like he's our best warrior. And then I can't remember if it's Zayden or Dane, but basically she's like, I don't like it, but like it's their free will. They have the free will to choose and make their own choices. And I find it refreshing because sometimes in these books, like the special one makes all the decisions and is like, I don't like that, don't do that. And I just really like that she's like being like, okay, no, they can make their own choices. Like I can't be responsible for everybody. Because I find sometimes I get annoyed when they're like responsible for everyone. And I'm like, yeah, you're not. I'm like just loving like there's not this like miscommunication trope. There's not this like he gets to control what she's up to. I'm also really liking the political aspect of everything that's going on. I find the like new kind of lands that we're unlocking. I think we should have been given a more comprehensive map. It bothers me to no end that they're down south somewhere and that's all I know. I can't see where they are. Whatever. But they better be in the fourth book, I'll tell you that. It better have an expanded map. I also am like very here for Dane. Like, Dane. Like I named my, or like in my little sprints to kick off ONYX Storm, I'd written something like Dane's Land or Welcome. And like, I don't know, I see a redemption arc coming. I also like, I'm pretty sure I've seen like, not spoilers. I have like, knock on wood, avoided spoilers, but I think I have seen some stuff of people being like, oh, you know, like I'm happy Dane is better or something, like where he didn't annoy me as much. So I'm here for it. I'm not annoyed by him, and he's not giving me like the ick like he was before. I'd even be down for him to like kind of have his own little love interest, and I enjoy like his witty repartee, but we'll see what goes on with Dane. I'm doing the Zoella special, a little woodwinked all over, and that's about it. Okay, I'm done. Today's plan is I'm going to my niece's cheerleading competition, which I'm hoping to be able to read usually I read a little bit while I'm there because there's a lot of like waiting around for her team to join or for her team to compete. And then after that, I'll be going to my parents' house. So more than likely I'll have enough time to kind of just like read. I'm gonna bring my book. And then at my nephew's hockey game after that, maybe I'll be able to read a little bit in between periods, but he's young. So like it's not like big, breaks or anything. It's a pretty quick game. So I don't foresee being able to read too much there. And then when I come home, hopefully I'll be able to read a little bit as well. And then I do have like so today is Saturday, by the way. This book has been out for what, like 10 days, and I'm only halfway through. I really thought I'd be done in like 5, but whatever. I couldn't help getting sick. Anyway, so then tomorrow I actually have a full Sunday of nothing, which is like kind of rare. So this is exciting. And I hope to read more tomorrow. So I'm hoping that I'll get a really big chunk in the next day and a bit, and that I'll be able to finish this book within the next couple days.
O64.
Bingo.
O64.
Bingo's been called.
Bingo's called?
Yep.
I got bingo. Can you believe it? Hi, Bucky. You didn't wash your feet. I have a Freya with me. Hi. Did you get your ear medicine? We'll do that. Anyways, let me update you on ONYX Storm. I am on the last 100 pages. Literally, I have 100 pages left to read of this book. And my thoughts and feelings about the book haven't changed all that much. I'm still very happy with the way that Xaden and Violet are communicating. I find Xaden a little cringy, just with like how in love with Violet he is and protective. But I do appreciate there are other times where, she wants to be in the fight and everyone's like, no, Violet, you can't. You're too special. And she's like, okay, but I'm the strongest. And he'll be like, yes, you are. So I agree. It makes sense to put you in the front. Because that's literally just happened where I am. The Wyvern have just entered Arisha, and I don't know what's about to happen. So Violet and Xaden have hooked up. I don't have high hopes for him getting saved. It doesn't seem like there is a solution for that. So I'm interested to see how that pans out. I was at bingo tonight with Court, and she was like, okay, you're in the last 100 pages. Get ready for everything to go down, but for you to have no answers. So I'm curious, what answers am I missing? I guess the questions that I don't have answered right now are will Xaden be cured or go full venom? I've had her second signet answered. I just got that, the Dreamwalker. So that's not a question I have anymore. I do have a question about her, like, on that one island, those people that had, like, especially that one girl who had the same hair as her, and then when she saw, like, gold kind of glinting on that statue, was that Andarna, or was that, like, something in her magic kind of being like, I see you? And that's all, honestly, all the questions I have. Honestly, should I have more questions? So who knows what will happen? It probably opens up a whole bunch. So I'm just gonna read the last bit. I don't think I'll be finishing it tonight because it is like 10 something and 100 pages, especially with how much densely packed these pages are. I don't foresee that happening. This book definitely took me longer than I anticipated, but in the end, it's kind of been nice to spend so much time with the characters and in the setting, as opposed to just kind of like absorbing it all and being done. So kind of a blessing in disguise that I ended up taking longer than I thought I would, because I've really enjoyed the ride. I'm having fun despite like a few misgivings with the cringiness of it all. Like even the spicy scenes just like aren't doing it for me. Whereas like I have no issue with spice. I enjoy spice. So like these I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. So I don't know, like I guess like I kind of, okay, this is gonna be so embarrassing because I know I'm wrong, but like Kale and Selena, like they're more believable, they have more chemistry, I just love them. Whereas these two, I'm like, we're in book 3 and you're like constantly talking about how hot he is. There's more to him than how hot he is. And I don't know, maybe I'm just like a curmudgeon. So I need to get over it and not be a hater. But genuinely, like I started off a little rough with this book, I would say, a little kind of snarky and judgy, but the plot and what's going on, I've loved it. I really have no issues with that. So if anything, I'm enjoying the fantasy more than the romance, whereas the first 2 books, I was in it for the full romantasy. Yeah, let me read.
The Irids came back, the Irids came back. They saved Orisha, they saved them. I don't really know why though. Like why did they come back? It seemed necessary to fire your ward stones. Okay. So end it? This bitch wants her and Darna to end her bond? I got misty-eyed. I haven't cried. This is giving like when in New Moon and it was like October, November, December. Ha, 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 ha. She was dedicated to Dune's temple. I don't know what that means. Mira's mad. What the fuck? Who turned Venom with Xaden? Like, who's Xaden's Venom brother? Who stole dragon eggs? Why are they married? Imogen helped erase her brain. Is it Garrett? Is Garrett the brother Venom? Memory erasing. Imogen is memory erasing. Okay. And like, so he went full Venom. And something's on her face. Is she like pledged to the Dune thing? Does she have like the priestess tattoo on her forehead? Or is she also a Venom? Because they were looking at her sideways.
Should I have more questions?
I think I need to like reread the last few chapters. What the fuck is going on? I've filmed kind of like my final thoughts and feelings like 3 times and it always just ends in like a rant. But what I ended up doing was the caw pile method, and I thought doing it would kind of help me clear up where this book succeeded and where this book kind of lost me. So let me go ahead and like walk you through my thoughts and feelings on the 7 kind of criteria, and then that way that's just kind of like have a structured way of discussing my pros and cons to this book instead of me ranting and raving, because I found like I would contradict myself and it was not like a valuable impression of my thoughts. The first category for caw pile is characters, and this is rated out of 10, and then it just kind of figures it out. It does like the math based on the 7 ratings that you give it and gives you like a rating out of 4, or sorry, a rating out of 5. So for characters, I did 7.5 because I think the core characters, and by that I literally mean like Xaden, Andarna, Taryn, Violet, like those 5, right? Like the 2 riders and their 3 dragons, they're really good because you're in their heads a lot. But then the other characters, you know, like Dane, Rhiannon, Sawyer, what's the other one? He was really funny. Like he was awesome this whole time and we got to know him a lot more. He was really sassy. You get to know them a bit, but then there's a lot of characters like that she was just throwing in and I'd be like, who the hell is this? So for that I rated that 7.5 for characters because she has really great characters. She has really great character development. But then there's all these other ones where you're like, I don't know them, but you're putting them in really important situations and I just have no idea what they are. It's like this kind of 2 sides of a coin for some of these categories where she excels in some ways and fails in others, in my opinion. And then we have atmosphere. And again, I did 7.5. The kind of cheat sheet describes like what you should be looking for. And atmosphere was like how immersive was the read? Were you able to picture the setting, the characters, creatures? Was the energy in the scene palpable, or was it not very convincing? I thought a lot of the energy was convincing. Like I could feel the tension, I would feel tense, but then picturing things, like I couldn't really picture the battle scenes all that well for some parts. Some of the sex scenes I couldn't even picture. Like, I don't know what the hell they were doing, honestly. But then like, this is book 3, so it's pretty easy for me to like picture Basgiath. So all that sort of stuff. Like most of the stuff is pretty good, but then other times in the book, I'm like, I'm just reading words and hoping I kind of understand the outcome at the end because you're really not letting me know like what the fuck is going on. Writing, I rated it a 4. And what you're looking for is, did you enjoy the writing style? Was the prose to your liking or unique? Was it hard to follow? Yes, it was hard to follow. Not very readable. There were times where I had to reread sentences and like some of them I'm still like, I don't understand what you were trying to get out of that sentence. How was the dialogue to narration ratio? That was fine. Did it flow easily and felt beautiful but effortless at the same time? No, it was clunky in parts. I thought a lot of the writing was very cheesy. She had way too many swear words. It was almost like she discovered the word fuck and couldn't, like, she was so excited to use it. But then the banter was like middle grade, cheesy crap. So it was like two sides of a coin where she wants to be really adult and put all these swear words in, like with no real purpose, in my opinion. It was kind of overused. And like, I swear all the time, so I'm not offended by this language. I just kind of am like, didn't really serve a purpose. But then the banter is really juvenile. So it's like, okay, you're putting in sex scenes and swear words, but then the dialogue was almost like what a 7th grader thinks an adult speaks like, but that's not how they speak. Didn't like the writing. Then the plot, I rated an 8 because the story was interesting. Like, this book is so confusing. Yeah, like when you're looking in plot, was the pacing good? Yeah, it was pretty good. There was a lot going on. I never felt like it dragged. I was never uninterested. Was overall plot satisfying? Were the reveals worth the journey? Yeah, I would say, I mean, the reveals that we got were worth the journey. Has it left you wanting to know more? Was it too complex, too bland, or just right? Yeah, there's a lot I want to know more about. I can't wait for book 4. And so then the intrigue, I did a 9.
I did 9. Were you wishing you could be reading this book instead of doing whatever you were doing? I felt that a lot. Were you intrigued to see where the story goes? Hell yeah, I was. Did the story hold your attention throughout, or was it not consistent? No, it held me the whole time. I enjoyed every moment reading it, apart from being annoyed at like the banter and some of the like writing choices. Okay, logic, I did a 7. I think that's a bit generous, but were the characters acting in accordance with their motives? I do think so. I think she knows, like, the main characters, I think she knows, and they weren't acting where you're like, okay, why'd they make that decision? Were you able to follow the rules of the world? Yes. Are the rules clear? No. Was the world building sufficient, overwhelming, or clear? Overwhelming, I would say. Do you think the author has left too much unclear or overburdened you with unnecessary information? I would like more information, please, Rebecca Yarros. There were certain things where she just glossed over it. And I'm like, hey, if you're wanting to do multi-POV, I would love multi-POV where they're setting up something that you just mention. And you're like, oh, they did this. Cool. I'd love to know how they did it, why they did it. Like, give me more. So yeah, the logic, 7 I think was a bit generous, to be honest, but I'm sticking with my initial feelings. And then overall enjoyment, I did a 9 because, like I said, I was having fun. I wanted to read this. I enjoyed it. And so with all those ratings for those categories, it came to 4, like a true 4. Because yeah, this book has a lot great and a lot bad, but overall I had fun with it. I'm not very happy with the way that the cliffhanger and like left us on. It's not a satisfying cliffhanger where you're like, you know, like the Xaden turning Venom last book, that was a great cliffhanger. I can live with that. I cannot live with all these questions in my head. And then the worst part is, it's not expected that we'll get another book for like 2 years. I'm not gonna remember these questions. Will I even care? I wrote down questions and highlighted kind of parts of the last few chapters as I reread it, so that maybe I'll go back before the next book, to refresh myself on like what answers are we hoping to get in this next book. But I do hope she improves on character building. I think more characters need to exist outside of Violet. I think she needs to either use first names or last names, not both interchangeably. At the end of the day, what the big thing is I don't know if this book is a stepping stone that's going to lead us into something great, or was she just throwing things in and she doesn't totally know how she's going to move things forward or where things are going, and she was just kind of throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what stuck, and she'll move on from there. It just feels a little sloppy, a little lazy, but we don't have the full context of what's in her brain yet. So we don't know which one it is yet. And without that context, I'm just feeling a little like this wasn't that good, even though it's a 4-star read. I'm literally have been like ranting about this book for like 30 minutes, so I need to just stop, end this video, and see you next time. Thank you for joining me if you made it this far through my incoherent ramblings. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.